is a rainy Tuesday night. We hope you are warm and happy wherever you are. We are going to be talking about my favorite season of the year is fall. So we're going to talk about that. And we want to thank brokersrealty.com for bringing us to you every week. Without them, we would not be here. If you are going to buy, sell, rent, or auction off a property, although renting right now is pretty hard where we are, make sure you check out brokersrealty.com and ask them to give you some help. Hi, Sarah. How are you doing?
Hallie, I'm doing well. It's, just a lovely time of year, although tonight is, like you said, a little bit rainy. So, it's nice to be in the house and be warm because we've had some really chilly nights here so far. So, nice to be here. Hi, Leah.
Hello, Sarah. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Long time no talk. We were just texting. I was actually
I
just
know.
texting and messaging with both of you. You know what? I'm going to say something controversial. I like this weather, and I'm going to tell you why. I hope it cools it down because this air pressure has been nuts.
It has been
Yes.
pretty.
It has been nuts. It
oppressive.
is really, and as I get older, I realize, and I'm glad, I wish I would have known it when I was younger, the air pressure really affects so much, your
Yes.
mood, your swelling. And as you get older, the swelling gets worse. I just want to tell everybody that is watching us tonight that we have these lovely something to say mugs. Of course, I have mine with a sippy lip cut in a cup and a straw. I put my lid on it because I'm afraid I'm going to spill it. So if you want to win one of these lovelies, make sure to comment on your mobile device or your computer, wherever you're watching from. We always have something to say. We have a lot to say. We never stop to talk, but we want
Never stop the talk.
we never stop to talk. And oh my Lord, with the ruby red. See, I matched tonight. I was just like, wow, I went a little heavy on the lip. Woo, we're twinning.
Yeah, I have red ones too.
Twinning. So, I like this topic. I mean, I like the rain. Yes, I wish it was a little cooler. I'm kind of done with the hot and humidity. Please, if you feel the same way, let us know. So we're talking about it's fall, y'all, as Holly put in the thing, and how to celebrate. And I think for most of us in this family, although I am a fall winter, I happen to love the winter. People think I'm
Me
crazy.
too.
I love the winter. I don't know if it's because I'm a February baby, but so starting like now, like after that Indian summertime to when it gets cool and crisp till about say March or so, I really, really like it. And I don't mind the snow. I mean, driving it is not so fun, but there's so many things about fall that are just really cool. I mean, in the majority of our family's birthdays are in the fall. I mean, we have some summers and stuff like that now too, but we have a lot of maybe because my son's birthday is in October, it's just kind of that time. It is so beautiful out. Sarah, have you been driving? I know you drive around for your job.
Well,
Isn't it gorgeous?
I was out actually today and took pictures of the lake because the leaves are starting to change, and it really does look so lovely. But I was thinking as we were showing off our nails, that is definitely one of the things of fall and winter that I love, is because, of course, as we go into fall and winter, our nail polishes get a little bit darker and more
Your
rich.
nail polish gets darker. We get to put our turtlenecks on,
Right.
or big sweaters. I was just talking to somebody today with Zaya, with my business, and about how you can layer. Now is the time to like get those boots out, your booties. I have to do shoe inventory, because
I have to do that too.
Yeah, a lot of my boots kind of went bye-bye. So now it's, they were so old and just worn.
Right.
So now whatever. So now I'm thinking like I need booties, it's kind of like you pull out the clothes. I like sweater weather. I know Holly does.
I love sweaters. I love layering.
I love not being hot.
I like not being able to,
I like to be able to go from inside to outside, inside without sweating. That is like my favorite part of all of this. I think that's why I got married in October.
I texted Jeff this morning and said, we need central air. Like, I don't care if I have to sell my body parts. Like, we're getting central air. Like, I can't take it anymore. Like, my feet the other day were literally sticky. Like, you could hear it. And I'm like, I don't get this. Like, I don't understand. I mean, we know that in northeastern Pennsylvania, anything can happen. Like, you can go from wearing a jacket and your muckalucks in the morning, and by the night, you're just stripped naked.
Well, that's hot. On Facebook that the winter is at 6 a.m. Fall is at 7 a.m.
Right.
Summer is at noon, and then we go back down through because
And it really
and that
affects
is
the
how it is.
allergies too. And it affects the
Oh my
allergies
God.
Oh,
too, because
absolutely.
things
won't talk
dying
about
down and then
allergies.
reblooming. Oh, it's a reblooming. So I'm glad that let's kill that. We need some frost to kill off that pollen. But we drove out to Country Junction, which is here in northeastern Pennsylvania, and it's out, further than where we are, maybe about, I don't know, what about half an hour, maybe 40
Yep.
minutes, depends on how fast you drive, I guess, or the traffic.
It's
And
very
we were
cute.
just driving along there, and it's so beautiful. The leaves have changed. I mean, I was seeing like reds and golds and things like that. And
Mhm.
so it makes it really such a beautiful drive, you know what I mean? To just look and see sort of, and of course the
Well, and
corn.
that place is so cool because
Ah.
I don't know if they still have it, but they have the haunted hay rides out there for people that like that kind of scary stuff for the Halloween.
I don't, yeah, probably.
area.
I don't know. I didn't,
Mhm.
they had hay rides. Well, yeah, they were, because I heard people screaming. So I
So
don't know if
yeah.
they did it during the day. I don't know, honestly.
I don't
was
know.
so
My girls loved
overwhelmed.
it. The haunted hay rides, they loved that.
Yeah.
But they also have like great pumpkin patch and
Oh,
just all kinds of things, farm animals, petting
I
zoo.
filled a wagon. It's a new thing that they do this year. They like a radio flyer, like a black wagon, and you can fill it. They just have a field that has pumpkins and gourds and crazy shaped. I got snake shaped gourds and ones that look
Mhm.
like ducks. I mean, just like really cool white pumpkins,
Mhm.
kind of variegated ones that look like sweaters. I mean, with cable
Mhm.
knit. I mean, really cool. You could make a really cool display, and it was $40. And I filled that. I had it on my social media. I filled that baby for $40. And I spend, I know all of us, my mom, like we all spend a lot more than that.
Mhm.
I'll just go get one more pumpkin here. I saw a pumpkin,
Yeah, I
so
do that with mums too.
you got to set the budget. You figure
Yeah.
out like ahead of time that you're like, okay, well, I really like to do corn stock. You can do that too, but that's more like Christmas. Corn stalks. I do my mom's, you do pumpkins. Do you incorporate? Let me ask you this question. So my mom the other day said to me, I said, I'm going to decorate for Halloween because, my son's having a birthday party this weekend here with his little cousins. And I'm like, I want to get the decorations out. She goes, well, it's kind of early. And I'm like, early? I said, this year, I said this to my husband too the other day. I said, I think this year, I don't care if you have a Hanukkah, Christmas, Chrismica, Thanksgiving, Fall Festival, what's the other one?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, New Year's. I could care less if people put every blow up decoration in their front yard because we need all the cheer.
Some joy.
I agree. I actually got out all of my stuff on Sunday, and I was going to do just fall. I was just going to do fall. And then I was like, what the heck? I'm going to put the Halloween stuff out too.
Yeah, let's do it. I don't even care
Yeah.
if they start playing the Christmas music. And I know it offends people or whatever, but I think it's so offensive. But the thing is that we got so stuck and behind and everything. We have to kind of like the stores, even you see, like
Mhm.
normally.
Yeah, the
There's
dollar store
much
has
more.
Christmas stuff in it.
Lowe's Lowe's has all their decorations out, and they like last year I thought they had gone like to the extreme because I got myself a Christmas llama.
Oh,
That's cool.
But this year they have a Christmas hippo, a Christmas narwhal, a Christmas
gosh.
corgi, a Christmas schnauzer. Like there's
Yeah.
dogs they have. Like they got it going on over there. So
But like, why
think-
not?
Yeah,
Like
why
that's what
not?
I mean. Like this year, like why not? Like I think personally that there's no rules this weekend. If there's no rules for other people, and I'm not going to name names, then there's no rules for decorating. I think that we should revolt and just do
why
what
don't
we
we
want
just
to do.
put it all out?
Well, I'm
It'd be
waiting.
Christmas for Halloween.
I'm waiting. Right. You could be Santa for Halloween. Our nephew
There you
did that
go.
one. He was Santa for quite a few years, actually. He was in a Santa costume for Halloween. I think you should amalgamate. We have to come up with like a thing. It has to be like Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hallows, Christmas, whatever. I don't know. I'm going to come up with something. I am
Happy
determined.
Halla giving.
I do
Yeah,
like having all the separate things because fall and winter is like my party time in our family. Like mom kind of does, she does the major things. She does Thanksgiving, she does Christmas, and she does Easter, and she's our mom. So usually we have Mother's Day with her. So, like all those winter into spring things are somebody else, but I have my birthday in the fall, which I really enjoy celebrating with Sarah. And then I have Halloween at my house, which I really, really love. So
let's talk about Halloween, because I'm sure there's people on. Hello, people. Don't forget to comment. Tell us how you're celebrating fall. Are you going to decorate? Are you going to go all out? Are you doing Halloween? What's going on? So, Holly, you host Halloween at your house, and normally we congregate, we eat or have snacks, and then the kids go out. So
the kids go out with the men and the women stay behind, and we have our own party. It's kind of
like, depending on the weather, how are we going to play at? And with all the new rules, if there's no street trick-or-treating, what are we going to do to, fix that within our family? And then everybody that's watching, tell us what your plan is, because you have to have kind of a contingency. You have to kind of have plan for trick-or-treating, plan for no trick-or-treating and good weather, plan for no trick-or-treating and bad weather, because then you end up with everybody in your house anyway. So how do you do that?
I mean, I'm going to kind of plan for the two extremes and do whatever winds up working. I mean, we're always fine for inside versus outside at my house, because my house is kind of, even though small, is good for parties because it's kind of like 3 rooms that kind of interconnect. So everybody is together anyway.
And you can see each other in your house. Whereas in my house, the rooms are cut off. Right. So it's kind of nice that if you're sitting in the dining room, you could be like, hey, you.
So, like, inside or outside really doesn't matter for me, although that would matter to other people having a party. I'm going to have a party no matter what. So if there's trick-or-treating, we will continue on with our tradition. We'll have my brother-in-law bring over the hayride and his ATV, and the kids will head out, and we will still have a party, although I'm going to have a little bit more here outside.
Right. And so if it's cold, if it's cold,
I have a plan for that. I
don't think it's going to be bone chilling.
I don't think it's going to be bone chilling either, but if there is no trick-or-treating, we are going to have a full-on party on my property. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up stations for trick-or-treating around the property where the littles, the little ones that really are still into it, can go from corner to corner of the property and get their bag filled up with candy. And then we're going to have some games. And then for the cold, we're going to have a fire in the fire pit, but we also have 2 heaters to go outside on our patio. So, we have a plan for kind of
That's a great idea. I like the stations of almost like trunk or treating, but you're doing like table treating. And then have all the adults bring their, bring their bucket or whatever that they're going to give out. I'm down with that. I'm definitely dressing up. So Sarah, everybody has to dress up. And speaking of that, we are going to have a Halloween show. Holly, when is that scheduled? When is that scheduled?
I was going to say it's right before Halloween. Let me look. I can look real quick. Oops, that's the calculator, not the calendar, Holly.
I mean, Halloween is such a big part of fall, right?
It is.
I mean, even if you're not celebrating per se,
the
27th. So do not miss our October 27th show, because we will be in costume, and it's required. It's required. Yeah. Of course, our audience doesn't have to be in costume, but I want you guys to participate. So I feel that
you're in costume though.
What's that?
They get
yes, you get something from us. I don't know what it'll be, but you're gonna get something if you show us. If you share,
we will definitely come.
We'll definitely have to have some giveaways. Definitely. Lizzie Katz is listening. Hello, cousin Lizzie, and she says pumpkin spice and everything nice. Let's talk about that. Lizzie, Elizabeth brought up a good topic because it seems to be somewhat controversial. Okay. I have a friend, and I'm not going to name his name, Mark, and he is like so against pumpkin spice. Like, he doesn't want to hear it because they took it so far. Like, pumpkin spice coffee, okay. Pumpkin spice bread, fine. Donuts, fine. Munchkins, whatever. But then it's like pumpkin spice toilet paper, pumpkin spice popcorn. Well, pumpkin spice popcorn.
Cream.
That's okay. Like a food item. But then, like, I think Mom was telling us pumpkin spice mac and cheese.
Yeah.
I don't know. But then she was like, well, she makes like a squash mac and cheese thing or like a cheese thing, but it fit. I don't know why, but I just can't imagine a Kraft mac and cheese as pumpkin spice. Mom's is a little bit different because it's like
Right.
rustic. I don't know.
I
What do you guys think about the great pumpkin spice controversy?
I like the changeover that it brings in the things that we cook and the foods we have in our house. Like,
Right.
you go from the summer salads to the fall soups and stews. And I
Right.
already made a pot of chili this week.
Right.
So
Right.
I like the total change. So
So
the
pumpkin
is
spice
just a
gets
piece
you
of it.
all. So
It's
you're pro.
perfect.
You're yay for pumpkin spice. You're pro.
I am yay for pumpkin spice coffee and pumpkin pies. After
Like
that,
desserts.
I don't
not
need it.
savory.
Yeah, I don't need it.
Sarah, where do you fall in
Elizabeth being my daughter, she is definitely a pumpkin spice, everything
Mhm.
nice, everything, whether it's, your candles
course,
or
drinks,
coffee or
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah, but that's good to know.
okay.
Lizzie, now we know. Now we know what to get you.
Mhm.
Hannah loves pumpkin spice coffee.
Okay.
I think it kind of ends there.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I like pumpkin pie is one of my favorites. I make
God.
great pumpkin pie, but I am not a flavored coffee anything. Like it takes a lot for me to partake with any flavored coffee.
But the smell, like if you're walking through, like if you're somewhere and you get that smell, do you like being like around that, like a candle
I don't mind it, but
I'll tell you some
have to
smell
say
I
that-
don't like. I'll tell you a smell I don't like that's already permeated the air. That when you walk into a grocery store and you smell the cinnamon pine cones that they have in there, I can't stand that.
And it's too concentrated. Oh, at the grocery stores, it's too concentrated in one spot. They don't spread it out. So you walk in and you're like, whoa, that's
all
a little
you got.
Yep.
And that's already happened. Even though
about pine needles.
It's a Christmassy kind of thing.
And I can't stand that evergreen
whatever.
I'm
not a pine salt. I don't like pine salt.
That makes me think of a bad, dirty bathroom somehow.
Right.
Bad, dirty bathroom.
Agreed. It's like the little cake.
We should bottle that. Back to our candle conversation, because we like to talk about all kinds of candles on here. Wink, wink. Bad, dirty bathroom should be the name of Sarah's signature, but we're not going to debase ourselves more than we did a couple shows ago.
I also want to point out that I like the change in cocktails. I do love my margaritas in the summer. I like my margaritas in the summer, but I switch more to wine.
How about a pumpkin
in the
spice
fall
cocktail?
I haven't tried anything like that yet. It's not saying I wouldn't try.
You know what I love?
But when you're buying a whole bottle of something, you kind of generally want to move in the direction of something you like.
Well, I love the eggnog, the creamy eggnog that you can buy only at certain times in the liquor store, but now they have it in pumpkin spice.
Oh,
so maybe we'll have to try that.
There's so many different things that you could do. So we talked about pumpkins. I mean, so Halloween, pumpkin spice, those are two really big parts of fall. The leaves changing, of course. We have the leaf. We grew up here in the Poconos, so and Sarah grew up in a very beautiful place in upstate New York. So is that considered upstate or downstate? I don't know. Is that upstate or downstate?
We call it upstate, but it's really Western New York. It's part of the Finger Lakes.
Beautiful, beautiful place. So beautiful drive there. Beautiful. So we're kind of used to the leaf watchers, and you know what I mean? So that is part of fall. What is your favorite? I want to talk about this is your life. Memories. Let's go down the path of memory. What if you can think of anything other than having your birthday in the fall? You both do. Mine's in February, so I can't relate to this, but what memories of fall particularly? Is it growing up here and having the leaves change? Is it like a festival that you went to? What is it about fall that you love, and do you have a favorite memory?
I want to say from when I was younger, pre-child, I always loved going to the Celtic Festival in Bethlehem in the fall.
I know.
That was like, for me, it's different. It's not quite the traditional pumpkin, apple, whatever kind of thing. I always felt like that was the beginning of fall. Guys in kilts, the music, the the sporting events that they did. It just kind of brought fall on for me from when I was in college up until I had Connor. Then once I had Connor, I have to say I really enjoyed the things like what you did this past weekend. I love taking him to pumpkin patches, Mayzilla,
Right.
There's actually a pumpkin place over right across the border in New Jersey that has like those things that you put your face through.
Oh yeah,
and
the wooden signs.
They
Yeah.
probably have like a half dozen of them, and they're spaced out amongst the back part where their mums and their pumpkins are, and a little bit of cutesy decor going on back there. I love taking him there because we would go there, we would get a pumpkin, we would get apple cider donuts, and then we'd come home, and that would start off, and then we decorate the house for fall. So I
like sort of like the family tradition, your traditions. Like and I had them, and I know you had them like before we had kids, like what I would do in fall versus what I do now. And then things are just so different. Like things are so different now. There used to be more street shopping. You know, you grab your pumpkin spice latte or your tea or I like a chai latte too. That's another thing I like in the fall. A chai latte, and you'd be in your poncho, you know, your warm sweater, your poncho, your boots, and you'd be going from store to store, maybe have a little lunch, you know, listen to the music and all that kind of stuff. Like I used to love to do that kind of stuff. Not that that's my favorite memory, but just there's like certain things that you do at certain times of the year. And that's, you know, and like Holly said, starting those traditions of going, like we went to Country Junction on Sunday, and then now we have a plan. We've never done Mayzilla. Shout out to Mayzilla here in the Poconos. We've never done it. I've never gone there. So we're going to do that at some point.
I did it once. I did cave and do it once. I'm a highly allergic person, and the west end portion of our county is not my favorite place because in the fall it is filled with something called ragweed, if you've never heard of it. And when I was younger and didn't have the proper medications, it would actually make my eyeballs swell shut. So I kind of avoid outdoor fall in the middle of a cornfield kind of activities, but I did it once. And I have to say,
I'm not saying that I'm going to go through the maze myself. I'm not going to say that I'm going to go through the maze myself. I might avoid actually doing that, but
it's actually fun. How the corn maze is here. You get a key, it's like a scavenger hunt. So you have to go, and on each section in this big map of the cornfield, in each section you have to find the scavenger piece, and on that scavenger piece is a hole punch that you punch your card with. And they're all different shapes. So you have to go to every
that might be kind of interesting then.
The right shape to punch your card with to finish the maze. So it's actually kind of fun.
I'm going to check it out. Yeah, we'll definitely have that on the list. Sarah, what is your favorite fall memory, either wrapped around your birthday or your kids or pre-kids? There is life before those people. People.
Well, I'm a little bit further along in the kids stage than you guys. So, you know, so for me, you know,
it's quite different.
Going to the pumpkin patch with my daughters was it was a fabulous thing. But I think one of the memories that I love is going and picking apples. And I've always done that from childhood forward, picking apples, making cider. I mean, I still can see my dad filling the jugs with cider, you know, where we would just go and we would pick so many apples that it would fill the truck bed of a truck. And then because it's upstate New York and they're famous for their cheese, you could buy sharp cheese when you're making the cider and have sharp cheese and cider, which is a great combination. And my mom, you know, she was just the best pie maker. So, you know, part of that memory is buying apples or picking apples. And there were certain varieties that she loved over other varieties for pies. So we'd make pies and we'd make applesauce and
she was a master canner. She was a master preserver. This is the time too, don't you think, Sarah? Like she was always preserving and canning. Like, I don't know if that's I mean, I know that people are still doing it in pockets and stuff like that, but don't you feel like that would be something that you would do like on a Saturday and Sunday? You know, you go and you get all the stuff and then you watch the elders, or maybe they let you help. Maybe they let you help. Maybe they wouldn't, you know, sort of kind of in the kitchen, the elder ladies of the family, and they would be canning and preserving and putting things up and
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
things like that. Oh yeah, big
We'd
part.
always
Big
had
part.
a garden.
I mean,
and of course,
even our grandmother, Aaliyah,
Oh yeah.
who was not a chef.
No.
You know, she kind of came into marriage during World War II when everything was rationed. She never quite became a great cook, but one thing she did do every fall was make applesauce.
She did.
She did. She
yeah.
made applesauce. She made cinnamon applesauce every fall, and I remember the days that it would be that she would decide that she was going to do that because the ricer came out, which is this pot with a grid on the bottom, and you spun it around to rice the cooked apples into applesauce, and then you chilled it. And
She did make good applesauce.
She did.
She did. She did. She made a couple things. She made rhubarb pie.
Yep.
She made applesauce.
Mm-hmm.
But
how
that
did
lady,
you make rhubarb
that lady
pie?
can
Do you
kill a
remember?
roast. That lady can take down a roast from a beautiful piece of meat. She could make. She could, but she could make. So let us know who's watching. Let us know. We're about halfway through the show. We want to know what do we have here. So Lizzie likes pumpkin spice.
She wants pumpkin spice flavored apples and cider. So you need to get on that, Sarah.
I think we're going to have to pass on that one.
And Deborah Porter, hello, Deborah. She is going to skip the pumpkin spice. She's going to do apple cider. Apple cider is good. I like it. I think I like it hot more than I like it cold.
Well,
apple cider donuts are amazing.
Oh yeah, right.
I have to say the key to apple cider is that you need a really good variety of apples. But if you have pears at the same time and throw them in, it makes it even better.
Yeah, pear and apples pair well together. And Joan Collier, hello, Joan. We're so happy that you're with us.
Hi, Joan.
I like pumpkin spice and coffee and never tried it in other foods. So we're about okay. We have a couple people that are not so much into the pumpkin spice. I just crossed the line at like pumpkin spice scented like toilet paper or whatever. Like, you know.
I might have to get that for the party. How about that?
Pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice. I mean, like, what can you put? What else can you put in pumpkin spice? You know what I mean? I guess my favorite fall memory is very quite simple. I mean, other than being able to.
How about pumpkin spice soap for your hands? Like, I have that.
Okay. That's all right.
Yeah, but do you really want to smell like pumpkin spice all day?
But like, I might put a pumpkin spice hand lotion, maybe. Like maybe like a hand lotion. I don't know. I like the candles. I like to drink it to a certain extent. But I don't go overboard. I don't go overboard with it. But I think like a pumpkin spice lotion or I don't know. I like vanilla. See, I'm team vanilla bakery type stuff. And I also like citrus stuff.
Me too.
I'm not really a musky pine cone.
Ew.
Like
I have grapes candle in the living room, and I have a vanilla cookie in the kitchen.
Right. I just tend to. I think everybody's palate is different. I just know that I tend to go to like coconut. I love anything coconut, which is not really fall, but you know, like those kinds of things. So my favorite fall memory, other than you know, obviously I bake, so I do a lot of baking at this time of year. I decorate my house inside and out and all that kind of stuff. I think that it was probably our grandfather used to rake the leaves really, 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 really high. And Holly and I would make forts. So I don't know how we did it without it. Like we would make an entrance, you know, but then I don't know how we did that, but like we would make leaf forts. Like, imagine that today, the kids today.
We did it with branches. You have branches
okay.
to make the entrance. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember, but we used to play, like he would really, kids, you know, people rake their leaf, you know, and he was fastidious about the yard, and we have a lot of trees, so we had a lot of leaves, and he would rake it, and Holly would just like hours. Like you would, I don't know if kids do that today, jumping in the piles of leaves, jumping out.
The leaf blowers.
We would make we would make little paths and do the kind of stuff. Like, I don't think that today, I mean, if I said to Leo, let's go jump in the leaves, I mean, he probably would because he's really into it. But that I do remember. And the smell, there's a different smell in the air, you know, and I like the crafts. I like the crafts too. Like I like the, you know, I think this is the season, and not that we don't craft or do creative things in the summer, because we do, but I think it just lends itself, this season, the fall, winter season, holiday season, lends itself to you know, put
Well,
a
I
wreath on the door and all that
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
I think we cook and bake differently too in this season because of course now you can use your oven and it doesn't matter that the house is getting warm from
Right.
the oven. You know, I love to put a good roast in the oven, which during the
Yeah, our food
summertime you
gets
don't do
it gets
that.
our
Mhm.
food gets heartier and heavier, you know,
Because
soup,
we're getting ready to
it's
hibernate.
sweaters, soup, and socks. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So you're like not
Oh
all
yes,
together. I
soup.
mean, you don't put
Yes.
socks in the soup, but you wear the socks, you put the sweater on your
Mhm.
coat. There's nothing better than a relaxing evening with like your blankie, you know, your throw blanket, your
Mhm.
pumpkin spice scented throw blanket, and your soup, and your, you know, with like you said, a roast or an apple pie in the oven. It
Mhm.
just it's very isn't it true too, Sarah? Like if you're selling, going back to like selling your home, we talked about this last week. Isn't
Mhm.
it true that like putting a pumpkin pie or even if it's a Mrs. T, was it
Mhm.
Mrs. Paul's or Mrs. T's or whatever it is, even if it's a frozen one that you have not cooked yourself in the oven, evokes that home
My
smell.
my fa- my ex-father-in-law was like a major real estate person in the Poconos. And actually, somebody just said to me the other day, I knew him and I can't believe how many homes he sold. But one of his key tips was to make sure that you either put cinnamon rolls in the oven or you put an apple pie in the oven, or like you said, it doesn't matter if it's frozen or if it's fresh, but something that smells really good when you walk in the door
Yeah,
that
really
they can,
welcoming.
because let's face it, our sense of smell gives us memories and
Mhm.
also makes us feel a certain way. So when you walk into a home and it smells like something that makes you feel homey, you're going to want to really think about that house as being your home.
I also heard that that's like smell that men respond to. No, seriously.
They
They
do.
like that sort of
Bakery.
bakery, you know, like it's attractive to men. I mean, they might not necessarily like to eat those foods or like to, they're not going to run and get their pumpkin spice coffee. I mean, if they do, no judgment, whatever. I don't care if they're burning a pumpkin spice candle, but like they say that that's like very attractive to them and it kind of bring, you know, whatever. So good tip, ladies. I mean, we don't usually do that on this show. We don't usually give you tips for how to get some in, but you know, maybe we have to get some in, but I
Little
don't know.
tips
Sell
never
your
hurt.
I'm
house,
going to have
get
to
some
rub
man.
some pumpkin spice all over me, I guess.
We're gonna douse ourselves in pumpkin.
I have something that we could talk about because I think it's something that people are very decisive about. You're either yes, it's awesome, or no, I'm not doing it. Haunted houses.
No,
No,
will not.
Me either. I'm a no.
Nope.
I'm a hard no.
and I'm gonna
on
tell
haunted
you
houses.
why. And I'm gonna tell you why. My father, when we were kids, took us. Remember the JC's in
Mhm.
East Stroudsburg had a haunted house over on, was that Brushy Mountain Road?
Yep.
And they had an old house that they converted. Nothing against the JC's, but oh my gosh! So I was
It was
probably
a
8 years
fundraiser.
old.
It was a fundraiser.
It was a great idea, and what they did was great. And now as an adult, I would look at that and say, wow, that's really cool, because they used to raise money, right? They
Yeah.
raised money. So and that's what it was for, a charity. And
Mhm.
these kids, these people were in their 20s, or so, you know, they're adults.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. And my father told them, they asked my father what my name was, and he told them. And so throughout the whole
Oh
house,
my God.
my name, I was so scared. I will never, and have never since, stepped foot in a haunted house. I don't like scary movies. I don't like scary
I
movies.
hate
I
scary
don't like
movies.
bloody.
I'll tell you, mine
Slasher.
is a completely different reason. You know what my
You don't
reason
like
is?
dolls.
You don't like clowns or
It's
dolls.
not even the clowns or dolls thing or the gore even. I
Oh
can't
yeah.
see well in the dark. I can't see well in the dark. And I already have kind of a fear of walking around in the dark because I feel like I'm going to fall down or run
Right,
into
right,
something or
right.
hurt
Yeah, I don't like
myself.
that either.
Like
Yeah,
I can't see well in dim light. Forget about the dark. So if you go into one of those places where it's dark, I feel like I'm blind. And that just bothers me more than even them jumping out at me. you know.
But
So
it
I
is
think
a cool, I mean, a haunted hayride I might be able to do
I might
because
be able to do that too
I might
because
be
you're
able to
trying
do
to
that. Yeah, I might have to
get
try
through it,
that. But
and they're
so
taking you through it versus you trying to walk through it. Like,
right. And
they
then things
have
are grabbing you. Like when things are grabbing you and saying Aaliyah, and they're grabbing you, and then there's things that could come from your head on your head, it could come underneath you.
like
Like,
locally here, we have the House of Horror out in Saylorsburg. They've got two different ways you can go through it. There's like a
My
scary, and
daughter
then there's like
loved
a
that
super
place.
scary.
oh
I mean, some people
really?
love it. I mean, and my
Mm-mm.
husband, he wanted to go down to Eastern State Penitentiary, does Terror
yeah.
Behind the Walls. So it's a Victorian era prison that they've remodeled and reopened. It actually housed Al Capone at one point. They have his cell.
Oh, really?
And you can go through a tour, and going through a tour during the day is really, really freaking creepy there because, you know, it was a time when prisons were not, they believed in isolationism in this prison. So in the prison, every person had a cell and every person had their own little box of a yard. So when you're in there, you're already freaked out. So I couldn't imagine being there at night in the dark where they're trying to freak you out. It's just
On purpose.
I
Yeah,
couldn't do it.
being scared is not for me. Like I don't even like those movies. Like this,
I hate those kind of
there's
movies.
so many. And you know what? As an art form, I get it. Like the makeup, I mean, it is really cool, like the way that they do it. But I can't get past the music.
Well,
I can't get past the theme song.
The
Like it
dark
just freaks me
bothers
out.
me. The music bothers you.
Yeah, the music bothers me. I'm more of a comedy. I'll take a musical comedy over a horror movie any day. So we have so many good things that are listed, you know, apple picking, preserving, decorating, having a Halloween party, or whatever that might look like to you because of the COVID, you know, favorite fall memories, decorating, the pumpkin spice controversy. What else is there? I mean, you know we like to get crafty. We like to get cooking. You know, we do
flowers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, part of the decorating I think is that's interesting is picking out the different colors of mums and them, you know, to the front of your home because even your flowers kind of change over at that, you know, this time of year. So, you know, you've got I have geraniums out front, so I'm kind of red, white, and blue. But, you know, probably this week, those are all going to go away and the mums are going to come.
And also it brings about, you have to take care of, you have a yard, you know what I mean? It's like a whole other different kind of yard maintenance in the fall. It's raking and the darn branches and just like kind of all the things that happen over summer.
Right.
You know, and I know that people are
too. I was reading an article, Leah, about yards, you know, because we as Americans, we have decided that green, lush tree, you know, shrubbery, tree yard grass is the end thing. Of course, that's not the way it is all around the world. It's not even all around the United States. I mean, because in Arizona you have rocks and sand. But I was reading and I was trying to.
Ooh, somebody from Arizona is watching. Hi, Mandy. How are you? What's going on in your yard? Is it brown? Is it green? We want to know.
They say that it actually is really good for your yard if you let the leaves on it and let it snow on it and
really. See, we grew up always thinking that because our grandparents or whatever, that you raked every single little thing off. You know, we have whole businesses that are dedicated to blowing and stuff like that. What I want to know is, and I spent Christmas in Florida once, and I'll never do it again. No offense to Floridians, but I like the change of seasons. I like to have my Christmas with a little bit of chill as opposed to hot and like lights on a palm tree. I like my lights on, whatever. I mean, all respect. I mean, obviously people live there and it's great, whatever. So we have a viewer right now who's watching, Mandy. She grew up here, so she was used to all the seasons and she moved to Arizona. That's what I'd like to know. So you're having fall season and maybe it doesn't get as extreme out there as it does. Like, do you miss that? And it's like, would it be weird to move to a place that didn't have those seasons? Like if we moved to Hawaii, which has its wonderful things, would you forget and not care? You know what I mean? Like it's really weird because we're so used to cold weather, leaves changing, snow, all the things that kind of evoke those visual sense memories of the smell and what we're looking at. When you don't have that or you don't grow up with that, you know, are you still having the full fall experience if you're not having a nut fall on your head?
And
You know
then
what
there's
I'm
also like the opposite, our cousin moved to New Zealand. So she's coming out of winter and going into spring.
Mhm.
Right.
So
It's
Christmas
the opposite.
time
Yeah.
is in the middle of their summer.
Right.
So it's completely
That's
swapped.
different.
So that's
Yeah.
different. It's like it's just interesting to hear how people do it. Like, do you
Yeah.
have corn stalks in Arizona? I don't know. Like how
I don't
how
know.
do you
I'm
market-
curious. I want to know what you do, Mandy. You better tell us. We want to know.
Like,
We
what do
wanna
you
know.
do in Arizona to market? I mean, in Florida, do you keep your air conditioning on, or do you swap over to a little, because it gets to be like
Maybe
50
have one of those
degrees and you think it's
crackling
freezing.
little electric fireplaces just to evoke.
Get
That's
your
what I miss too.
mood.
And I know we're only talking about fall, but when we were growing up, you could turn the dial on and see the crackling fireplace with the Christmas
They
music.
still have that.
Oh, they do?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
it's on like direct TV or something.
Right. But
They
remember,
still
like it
have
was on channel 12 or 13. It was like all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like funny how I think nostalgia, I think more than ever, like we should have a show about that too. That would be a fun show. It's just like nostalgia, like nostalgic eras. It's like things that you remember as a kid. The way that what we did as kids, we did not have phones or video games. Gosh, in our family, we didn't
What
have
about black and white TV, where you only had
Yeah.
one channel?
Right, exactly. So like there's things from our childhood, like the crackling fireplace, playing in the leaves, maybe making a scarecrow or going to a farm to pick something or to
Carving a pumpkin. That's
Carving
also
a
something that
pumpkin.
people are definitive about. Some people carve and some people don't carve.
So that's a good question for our listening audience. I mean, even when I was single, I carved a pumpkin. Like it had nothing to do with having kids. You know what I mean? Even when I lived in an apartment, even if it was a small one. Hi, Stefania. How are you? If you're watching, tell us what your favorite fall thing is to do. It's a great season. Do people still carve pumpkins? If you don't have kids, do you carve them? I mean, do you put them out? Do you put lights on them? I mean, I find it kind of gross because when you carve out a pumpkin, it's not pumpkin spicy. And it does not look like pumpkin pie.
It makes me itch.
Right.
Honestly.
If you're allergic to it, then
like
I guess you're not doing that.
Yep. I don't do that. But
Yeah.
I like to paint them. I
Yeah,
do like to paint
they're
the
fun.
pumpkin.
That's a
That's a
different
fun
thing.
craft. Yeah, that's definitely fun. I mean, I can see when you go out to Country Junction or all these other places, like, a pumpkin is not just orange. There's white
Right.
pumpkins. And like I said, that we found ones that almost look like a cable sweater. There's some sort of hybrid. There's just so many, the colors. I mean, it is just
Well, and pumpkins
amazing.
there are so many different varieties, and
Yeah. Pie
it's just
pumpkin.
like apples. There are so many varieties of apples that people don't realize that they all taste different. It's
Yes.
just the same way with pumpkins. There are different pumpkins that taste differently, and there are some that actually make a better pie than what comes in a can. Like I actually like to make fresh pumpkin and grind it and do all of the things, strain it and make the pumpkin pie. But a lot of people don't realize that you can actually do that.
Well, yeah,
don't.
because then you'd actually be making a pumpkin pie. Most pumpkin
Right.
pie mix is not actually pumpkin.
It's
When
like
you buy the
sweet potato
can,
or something.
yeah, it's mostly sweet potato. Actually, it's a
Or
different.
squash. Yeah,
It
some
gives-
sort of
it gives
squash.
it
Yeah.
the right consistency to make the pie that they can't get because Americans are not used to the actual taste of pumpkin.
And there are some
That's
pumpkins
just-
that have better seeds to roast, because
Oh,
if you
yeah.
like pumpkin seeds, you can actually roast the seeds and eat them. But there are some pumpkin varieties that have different kinds of seeds that are more delicious to eat, roast and salt and eat. So it's kind of an interesting thing if you like pumpkins or apples, that you can read about the different varieties, and it's interesting to go to the pumpkin farm because a lot of them do grow all the different varieties.
I have a rapid fire question, and I want you to be very, very honest with your answer. This is a very, very important question. This is a this or that type of thing, and it will determine our future relationship, depending on. I'm kidding. It's not that deep. So, are you caramel apple or candy apple? Holly, you go first. Give me your
I'm-
answer and why.
I'm neither. I don't like apples.
Wait a minute. How could I go through 45 years of my life with you and not know that you don't like apples?
I don't like raw apples. I don't like. I think it's something that came from having braces so long ago.
Oh yeah, that would probably affect that. Yeah. But if you were gonna choose,
I
are
like
you
apple
caramel?
sauce. I like
Are
apple
you
flavor.
caramel? You're a caramel gal though. You would never do the candy, I don't think.
Correct. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. If I'm gonna put something in something, if somebody put out sliced apples and caramel dip, I might try one. But
Sarah, our entire relationship balances on this answer. Are you caramel or candy apple?
I also am neither. I would have to say
Holy,
chocolate
what the heck is going on here with you people and not having apples?
I would have to say that I would rather have an apple and slice it and put it with peanut butter or chocolate.
Not dipping it in the caramel? You wouldn't even do that? No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, next question, rapid fire question. Hot chocolate versus hot cider.
I
Hot
like
Sarah, you go first.
hot cider.
Hot chocolate for sure.
Oh, we're house divided. I would
Mhm.
say either or, but probably more towards the hot chocolate, depending on. But I do like a nice hot cider. I don't drink alcohol, so I'm like limited with a lot of these fancy things, and I don't
Mhm.
like really caloric drinks or nothing
Mhm.
too. So it's like it kind of limits me. You know what I mean? I think that's why I like a spice chai latte because you get sort of
I like
everything you need to get
I
in
like
there.
cider, but I like it cold. I like
You
cold
like cold
cider.
I prefer
I
it
like
cold.
hot.
Okay.
But if it's the choice between I'm really weird about chocolate.
All right. Apple pie or pumpkin pie?
Oh God, but both.
I want a
Both.
slice of both.
Mhm.
Do you like hot apples? You're cool with that. Hot apples.
Yes, I
Wow.
do. I like apple dumplings, apple donuts, apple sauce. I like any kind of thing where they cook the apple. I don't want to have it raw.
One more. Campfire or fireplace?
Campfire.
Both.
I love a campfire.
I
It
know
just
you like
I
makes
to
a
love
do
difference.
both. I love
I don't
both.
ca- I don't care for either one. No, I'm just kidding. I think a campfire, depending on what the weather is outside, like
Mhm.
we burn out, we burn in our little fireplace or whatever. It just depends.
Mhm.
There's like you just pick that right night of like, is a sweater wet, like a little light sweater or jacket. That's the thing
And I-
too. Like it's
I love
definitely a
toasted
sweatshirt.
marshmallows.
Oh
Toasted
yeah.
marshmallows on, do it on sticks. And I love both, but it's
Well, you could put your
again,
toasted marshmallows in a hot chocolate. That would be
Yeah.
delicious, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
For our anniversary next week, we're going camping. We actually got a cabin in World's End State Park. It's a cabin. We're not in a tent, but they have in these cabins a fireplace on the inside and a fireplace on the patio.
Oh, very
Like
nice.
two sides of it. They're ancient little cabins, but they have the fireplace inside and outside, so you can have both.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Do
that's
you go
that's
camping,
a good
Sarah?
way.
I guess
I do.
people go camping in the fall.
I have gone camping since I was a child. My mom used to take us in a tent.
What do
When
you
I
prefer?
was
Do you
little. I
prefer
have done
summer,
tent
summer or
camping.
fall camping?
Tent camping in the fall. I just get too cold. Like I wind up with my
say,
wool socks on, my hood
the
on,
most
a
fun-
wool hat. It's just not fun.
The most fun I had was when we went glamping at the Shawnee
yeah.
Inn. That was such a good way to go camping for anyone
And
that
you can do
wants
that
to
pretty much.
anytime.
They're
anytime.
actually extending their season at Shawnee for glamping for the fall, and they have more tents than they used to have when we went.
So
They
much
have
fun.
more-
So
Mhm.
much fun. And we had
It is fun.
s'mores drinks. It was good.
Stefania is chiming in and she says, I love Halloween. I'm a dress up girl, so always looking forward to the season. I'm with you, Stefania, and you missed it because I don't think you were here at the beginning. We were talking about
I have to show this face that is like sticking himself under my arm.
puppy.
There's Oscar.
Oh, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us on something to say. We need to have a puppy. We need to have the pets here on something to say. Yeah. So dressing up. So yeah, we probably dress up. Obviously, I have a 6-year-old, so it's just like something that you do. And I've always I can't remember a time when I didn't do something. Whether it was like, it's like, come on, people. It's like you can throw on some ears and a tail, or be a sexy candy bar, whatever it is that is the costume or whatever.
Last year at my office, we had
Oscar, what you doing?
we had an awesome theme at our office. We did Pac-Man. So
Yes, I remember that.
my
That was
boss was Pac-Man. My other boss, who's a woman, was Miss Pac-Man, and then all the rest of us were ghosts.
cute.
Or cherries or lemons, it was
Yeah, it gives the adults like a reason to get it, even if you don't go trick-or-treating. Like I don't go trick-or-treating as an adult, but like I have a kitchen witch costume. It's amazing how far you can take a cape and some black clothes and a tail. So there's really no need to be, you don't have to spend a lot. And we'll talk about that on our 27th show, because you'll have time to go out and get those things. But I think that there's a lot of things that you can do, even if it's not so creative. You could throw a costume together, and of course we'll get more into that, as is. But the fall season is nice. It's warm, it's cozy, it's fuzzy, it's sweater weather, it's Halloween, it's
before
family.
it gets too cold.
Thanksgiving is a whole other thing, and we'll talk about that as it gets closer to that, like different types of things that we could do for Thanksgiving. I think this is a really nice time of the year. I think that
it's fun.
I mean, summer is exciting because you have picnics and you're going swimming and maybe you're on vacation.
You're going on vacation. I think because summer got so screwed up that I'm actually going to enjoy fall more.
Right.
Like I'm really looking forward to it because I've kind of gotten over the hump. I'm going about my business. I don't know how everybody else is, but it's like people are like, oh, what if Halloween's canceled? I'm like, no one can cancel Halloween.
You can't cancel a holiday.
Cancel Halloween.
Halloween is in our
your municipality might, right.
They
might say you can't trick or treat, but they can't cancel Halloween. So
I know another fall tradition that I don't know if you guys do this still. I mean, I know Holly, your son is old, my nephew's older, and I know your kids are, but who here watches Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown? That's kind of like
that, but you know what I watch every single year? Hocus Pocus.
Oh, me too.
Hocus Pocus. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I like how that one channel that I don't know if we're allowed to talk about, the family channel, whatever it's called, that they have a list. You can go online and look and see what movies, and every night from a certain time to a Halloween night, they play family-oriented Halloween movies. I love that.
30 days. I think 31 days of
but
Halloween.
But it's not gory stuff. It's not really gory stuff. I mean, you can go on the other channels to find that if you like the gory stuff, but this is more like Hocus Pocus, Charlie Brown, Shrek Halloween. Halloween.
I know I said I don't like horror movies, but I do like Halloween, like the old original Halloween. Jamie Lee Curtis, Freeman, and Michael Myers coming after that
outfit.
That music will be forever in my head, because one day my sister decided that she was going to go live in Jersey City and that we had to move her there. And when did we move her? We moved her on Halloween. And you know what was being broadcast down the street in the dark in Jersey City? The theme song to Halloween.
That's all you heard. That's all you heard.
That's all you heard.
Yeah. Memories. Yes. So many fall memories.
I know it's hard to believe, but we've talked for an hour about the fall. Y'all. We have talked about the fall, y'all. So we've had so many great comments, and we want to thank everybody who's got something to say. Keep saying it. We will. One of us will sit down and respond to you all and give you a little love tonight about it, a little fall happiness. We want to thank our sponsors, BrokerageRealty.com. Without them, we could not come and talk about all this fun stuff every week with you on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock. We will be back next week with another fun show. We had great time with you tonight. We hope you did too. Everybody stay safe and see you next week.